Enjoy this short from Sarah, Aaron, Rachel, and Bree in the Lutheran Ladies Lounge.
Speaking of lots of other books to read and fairy tales and books for kids versus books for grown-ups, we need to remind people about our next book club read, which we already decided upon last time, which was really efficient of us. Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as previously announced, our summer book club read, and I think we'll be doing the book club discussion sometime in late July, I'll get those exact dates out here before too long, is going to be That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis. We read about Lewis, we read one of Lewis's favorite books, and now we're going to read one by Lewis. And this book, the reason we gave you a long lead time on this is that this book is the third part in a trilogy, the Space Trilogy. Now, you do not strictly have to read books 1 and 2, which are Out of the Silent Planet and Perelandra, in order to make sense of That Hideous Strength. It does kind of stand alone. You're going to be confused for part of the book anyway. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Yes, you will.
But you can read it without reading the 2 before if you want to. However, I highly recommend reading them all 3 in order. You will just get that much more out of That Hideous Strength. We chose That Hideous Strength because, frankly, I think it has the most to talk about. And it has a strong female lead character.
Yes!
Which is something we love here. So I hope that you will enjoy that. I am really looking forward to the opportunity to reread that series again, maybe for the second or third time in the last year. I've been reading a lot, you guys. It's wonderful.
Wow.
It really is grand. Reading is wonderful.
So, Rachel,
Bree, I've had seasons like the one you're in right now where I would go like 5 years without actually spending any meaningful time engaging with a book that I wasn't required to do for work. Those seasons come, and I've had those. But I'm in a season where I'm reading a lot now, and I think you're going to get to one of those before long here, and it will be wonderful. So,
Hope so. Thank you.
Aaron, what were you going to say? I'm sorry I cut you
was
off.
just going to say, Rachel, at the beginning, you were saying that we don't have to actually like all the books of book club. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't. And so I looked back, and sure enough, I recall I did not especially care for Till We Have Faces, a previous C.S. Lewis book.
Oh.
It's one topic, and I remember I commented, I was like, I read it for a second time. I appreciated it, but I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that remains true. But for those...
That's okay. It's a weird book for him. It really doesn't fit.
It is a weird book. But for those of you that are out there and I want to just offer a note of encouragement who are, maybe you hear the title, That Hideous Strength, and you're like, hideous? Is this a book that I want to read? I will say, you have to stick it out. It gets... the beginning of it is confusing. You have to persist.
Yes, it is.
And then it definitely, you start to understand what's going on, and it is an engaging, interesting book. And I definitely enjoyed it more than Till We Have Faces. So if anyone out there who is like, I don't know about C.S. Lewis's adult literature. I like the children's literature for C.S. Lewis, but not so sure. Anyway, I'm just offering this out there. I enjoyed the full Space Trilogy. And I also, I waited a long time to read That Hideous Strength because the title made me feel weird. But
yeah, it's a weird book. It really is. So for those of you who have not read it, and we'll recap this in a month or two, it follows the story of a young married couple, Jane and Mark Studdock. He's a college professor. She is sort of working on a dissertation, but really just bored with life. They've not been married very long, but their marriage is already on the rocks. Mm-hmm. And then at one point early in the book, he gets sucked into this organization that will feel, for any conspiracy theorists out there, will feel very resonant. And she then gets sucked into a different organization that is sort of the good side to fight the bad side. And so this we see the book through their eyes as they each go through and learn and grow and find out what their part is going to be in the battle against, quote, that hideous strength.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
No, I am looking forward to discussing it because there's a lot
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
We'll have to pick and choose our topics there, but we will not be hurting for discussion questions for that book.
I've been meaning to read the Space Trilogy for a long time. I've had it recommended to me several times, and I just never got around to it. So I'm very glad we're doing it. And I've already read Out of the Silent Planet, which was amazing, and then Perelandra, which was even better. And then I started That Hideous Strength, and I was like, what in the world is happening right now? This is not like either of the two books.
Yeah.
And I was very confused.
Very distinct.
Because the first two books have like 5 characters each, and this one feels like it has 50. And
at least.
So, yeah, it was a lot of people and names and conversation. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. But yes, it's very good. I am finally to the point where things are making sense. And I think I still have 13 more hours to read. So,
all right. See, you can get there. So I hope that you all listening out there will join us for our discussion of That Hideous Strength this summer. I'll be sitting hopefully on a beach somewhere at some point rereading the Space Trilogy. That's my goal. I see it in my brain. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but it'll be fun if it does. So I'd like to know that you all are out there in spirit reading right along with me, and we'll look forward to that.
Awesome. All right. So our next book club book will happen sometime in July-ish. Rachel will post that in the Facebook group. If you're new to this, the book club happens in the Facebook group. It is an event that will get posted. It is asynchronous. You don't have to be there at any certain time.
Which is great because I won't be.
Right. No. Yeah. Rachel will post questions, and then we have our conversation there in the group. And then we've started this, I think maybe 2 book clubs ago, the week after the podcast drops. If you're only on Instagram, I take the questions from the Facebook group and post them on Instagram the week following. So you can have discussion on Instagram as well. You aren't left out if you're not in the Facebook group. If you're only on Instagram, that is totally fine. Those questions will be also posted on Instagram as well. So That Hideous Strength, C.S. Lewis. I also highly recommend reading the whole series. It's great. It'll bend your mind a little bit. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Join us in our Facebook group, the Lutheran Ladies Lounge, and on our Instagram page at Lutheran Ladies Lounge. You can find all of our podcasts at kfuo.org/Lutheran Ladies Lounge, or on your favorite podcasting app, or on the KFUO radio app. You can sign up for our monthly e-newsletter as well. Find out how to do that in the show notes for this episode, or send an email to lutheranladies@kfuo.org, and we'll get you signed up for the e-newsletter. You're listening to the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast. I'm Sarah.
I'm Erin.
I'm Bree. And I'm Rachel.
KFUO Radio and the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast are underwritten in part by Wicking Vicar. Visit them online at wickingvicar.com. Views and opinions expressed on the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast may not represent the official position of the management or ownership of KFUO Radio, the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. The Lutheran Ladies Lounge is produced by KFUO Radio and available at kfuo.org or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a review for us too. If you love the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast, consider financially supporting our producer, KFUO Radio, so we can keep doing what we do. Find out how at kfuo.org/give.